So, buddy, let's get right to it. So, this money for Ukraine, Zelensky goes home empty-handed. Nobody can explain what the money's going to do, what the end game is, what victory looks like. Remember the spring counteroffensive? That's why we gave them the other $100 billion, right? Of course, half of it's grift. That's why we gave it to them. That fizzled. They don't have any. Average age of their soldier, 47. How do you fight a war like this, right? They're drafting people that are 70 years old. I'm 65. I'm not really in a position to go fight a war. They're 70 years old. A complete grift, and yet you still got the Democrats and the rhinos trying to give them the money. Give us the take on it. What's going to be the outcome here, Buddy Carter?
Well, the outcome is going to be when this administration decides to make policy changes to our border, then we're going to get funding for Ukraine. You know, when I go home, John, when people are asking me about Ukraine, they want to know one thing. How can we justify sending money to shore up someone else's border when we can't even protect our own border? It makes no sense at all. And I get it. I understand exactly what they're asking. I understand exactly what they're saying. And that's what people want to know. They also want to know what you just said. Tell me the end game. Tell me how this is going to end. And they want accountability. All of those things. They want Europe to do their part. They want to make sure we don't have any American troops on the ground. All of that. We need to have accountability. We need to have Europe do their part. We need to have no troops, American troops on the ground. And we need to have a game plan. We need to know how this is going to end. But, you know, they'll try to blame us for it, blame Republicans for it. But give me a break. I mean, what do the Democrats, how can they justify the fact that they would rather put money toward IRS agents than to put money toward Ukraine? That's ridiculous.
Well, what happened to the concept of pay-go, right? Remember when they wanted the $10 billion, when you guys wanted the $10 billion for Israel, Mike Johnson, Speaker, said, okay, sure, but then you're going to have to cut $10 billion out of the IRS budget this year, right? So no agents, no 87,000 jackboots. And then, of course, he got criticized for that. What happened to pay-as-you-go? Is that now gone, that concept out the window, so we can spend more money?
Well, my hope is that with this new speaker that it is not gone. I applaud Mike Johnson for what he is, the tone, if you will, that he has set for his leadership. And that is that we're going to be fiscally responsible. Yes, we want to support Israel. Of course we do. Everyone does. But at the same time, we've got to do it in a fiscally responsible way. That's why I applaud him for what he did. He identified how we were going to pay for it. Pay-go, as you say. He identified that money to come out of the IRS. Now, here we have the Democrats who would rather fund the IRS than to fund Israel. Well, you know, you'll have to take that up with them. That's something they're going to have to clarify. That's something they're going to have to justify.
Well, they're only going to have to justify it if we don't let it pass without them justifying it, which is my hope. Let's get to the budget. You're on the budget committee. Still no budget. We still can't get the 12 appropriations bills done. I don't know how many times I've asked you this. It's not your fault. You ran for budget chair. We would have had a budget had you beaten Jody Arrington. Nice enough guy, but he doesn't get the job done. No budget, no appropriations. When do you guys plan on actually finishing these appropriations that were actually due July 31st, June 30th? When are these going to get done?
Well, that's a good question, and they've got to get done. As you know, we passed a stopgap spending bill that takes 4 of the 12 bills and extends them through January 19th, and then takes the other 8 and extends them through February the 2nd. Those dates are coming quickly. I mean, you know, we can think, well, they're out in the future, but they're not that far out in the future, because keep in mind now, once you pass those bills, it takes a while for staff to put all that together. It takes, you know, a week or so for them to put all of that together. That's why here we are. Supposedly tomorrow is going to be our last day, and that we're going to be out for the next 3 weeks. Well, if we're out for the next 3 weeks, and I hope we are, because we certainly need a break, but at the same time, what's going to happen with the appropriations? We're going to come back in the 1st of January, and we're going to have a lot on our plate, and it's going to be quick. Now, today's a big day with the NDAA. We got to get it done. Tomorrow's going to be big. So, a lot going on up here right now.